I think this is the earliest I've filmed a video ever. I mean, look at me filming it. What time is it? 9:40 in the morning. My voice is a little scratchy. I think I'm coming on with a cold. I don't actually know. Also, different setup. Why? Because I'm home alone for the first time. Yes, I'm 16 and I've never been home alone. We're not gonna address that. Home alone as in like I've had to stay the night. I don't know about the setup. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Look what my best friend got me. I am in love with this. I actually love it so much. There's a zip on my ass and I thought it was gonna help when you need to go piss, right? But it actually makes it kind of more complicated. Also, I went shopping this morning. I thought this was open the entire time and I was so worried. I mean, I had a coat on, but I was still worried, you know? I was like, anywho. Boy, do I have a lot of shit to talk about today. First off though, current reads. Okay, so current reads. I am reading Good Girl, Bad Blood, which is the second one to A Good Girl. I still can't say that properly. A Good Girl.
Sometimes the world looks perfect. Nothing.
A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It's the second one. Right now it's pretty good. I haven't really read it in a couple days because the action hasn't started just yet. And I mean, I liked A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I thought it was good. But what really ended up making it, I'm gonna talk about it later, but what really ended up making it good for me was like the million plot twists at the end. I was like, what? Like that's what added probably a whole ass star, but it was still good. Like it just wasn't one of my favorites. And then I'm also reading Kafka on the Shore. My mom was like, you have to read this. I cannot wait to talk about this one in my April wrap up. And that's whack shit. There's low-key incest. And you can tell that it's written by a man. Anywho, yeah, I'm literally 100 pages in. I've decided actually to start including books that I read as part of the school curriculum because I wasn't gonna do that, but there might be some that I like. So if there isn't a lot of books 1 month, it's probably because I have to read books for school that aren't long. I just cannot read books for school. Like it's so hard because I usually fucking hate them. But this is why I wanted to include this one because it was low-key okay. Like I kind of liked it. So surprise, surprise. Anyways, now that that's all done, the first book I read was Girl Interrupted. This is Susanna Kaysen's memoir of like the time that she was in a mental hospital. The chapters are quite short, which I really liked. I thought it was really interesting. I don't want to rate it though because I don't know, it feels weird rating a memoir. I don't know if I should rate it because it's someone's life, but I guess you can also rate it on like the story, the way they told the story and their writing. So I'm gonna do that. I think I'd give it a 3 out of 5. I thought it was enjoyable. 3 doesn't mean bad for me. It just means like you liked it, but you didn't love it. And it was kind of just there. Certain parts were really exciting. Like, I don't know, some parts I loved reading and then others were just kind of boring. And then I got kind of confused near the end. It wasn't bad. I did like it though. Reading about what it was like in McLean Hospital is where it is. The next book I read was A Court of Frost and Starlight. I talked about how I was reading this in my other one, and I was like, it's shit. It is.
Psych, this shit nasty. What in the Peter Piper picked a peck of motherfucking pickled peppers is this shit? I'm calling the motherfucking FBI.
Nothing changed. I had to skip a couple chapters because I was like, bitch, get to the fucking point. Nothing happened. Some parts were just boring. By some parts, I mean basically the whole thing. The only thing I liked was solstice, like winter solstice, basically Christmas, when they're all together. Like that was good. It didn't get me invested in Nesta and Cassian, and I feel like it was supposed to if I want to read A Court of Silver Flames. So I still love Cassian. And I like Nesta too. But it's like, I'm kind of rooting for them because it's enemies to lovers, so they're kind of fun and cute. They're not cute, but they're like banter cute, like mean cute. Does that make sense? I don't know. Court of Frost and Starlight, it was not good. Also, there was one smut scene. It was like galaxy, earth-shattering type shit, and I just thought that was so funny. Mind-blowing. Like, it was... I remember she kept talking about how she was being transported to like a different universe or something. Imagine fucking so good. You're like damn, I just got transported to another dimension. I was like actually pissing myself while reading that, but also like, okay. Also, basically most of the book, she's like, I don't want a child just yet. And then suddenly, boom, she's like, no, I want a child. I thought that was a little abrupt. I think I'd give it, honestly, a 1.
It is so bad, I want to give you a 0, but that's not possible. So I give you a 1.
1.5. Let's give it a 1.5 out of 5. And I will read A Court of Silver Flames at some point, just not today. Next book, the best book of this month, If We Were Villains. I had seen this book kind of hyped up a couple months ago during like the winter Dark Academia fall kind of season. I actually really loved it. I thought it was really good. There was some things that I kind of didn't like. I think that I'm not saying no book can be 5 stars, but it's so rare that I give a book 5 stars. I definitely tab this one quite a bit. I don't tab books that much usually. Every little fucking bang is sending me over the fucking wall. Like, I made a couple notes on the characters, kind of covering though, because spoilers. Why can't I explain this book? This always fucking happens with books that I love. I'm like, it's not gonna live up to the book. If We Were Villains, it's Dark Academia. It's set in, like I said, this like arts college. And yeah, it's about these 7 students who study theater and like Shakespearean theater, you know? And then one of them suddenly gets, one of them is found dead. And everyone's like, what the fuck? But so they're trying to figure out who did it and what happened. And obviously the other 6 friends are the main suspects because they were so close. They're also the ones that found him. So everyone's kind of like on edge in this book. But I really love the writing. There was a lot of good quotes. I mean, there was kind of a plot twist, but it just didn't shock me as much as I would have wanted it to. Very eerie, Dark Academia, creepy kind of vibes. I love that. It's fruity. It's fruity. I love like any book that is like kind of fruity or gay. So, well, most of them. Chapters are scenes and the like bigger chapters are acts. But at the start of each act, there's a prologue. Because you are basically going from the past to the present, where this one dude, this is not a spoiler by the way, one of the dudes, so the main character, is actually getting let out from prison because he was jailed. And we don't really know why. And then the scenes are the story, you know? And then it doesn't actually tell you which one of the friends gets murdered until it happens. Like, in the prologue, there is no mention of who it is. So it's cruel because I'm like, fuck, don't get me attached to these characters and then kill fucking one of them. Like, why would you do that? Like, that's cruel, you know? I thought it was also good romance. It's kind of set aside, but it's not like set aside in the way where you're like, fuck, I don't want to read anything else. I just want the romance part. I forgot about it at times, which is what I love about books that kind of have a little romance on the side. Like, I kind of forget about it. It's not the main thing. The last act was a serious shit show. Can I say that? I can say that. It was fucking crazy. But yeah, so that's If We Were Villains. That was so hard to explain for me. After If We Were Villains, I read Beautiful World, Where Are You? I read Normal People, and I quite enjoyed it. Wasn't one of my favorites, but this is a really weird book this month. Some bits I was really into, and then sometimes I absolutely could not pick it up, and I was like, let me tell you what I was not expecting. You know how in Normal People there isn't that much like smut or like sexual graphic type shit? This book, listen, there was a lot of smut, but I think it kind of like unsettled me because a lot of it was just so normal. You know how Sally Rooney writes in a way where it's really like daily life and everything's really detailed and shit? It wasn't the usual smut I read, which is like, that could never happen, or that's like a one-time thing. This one just seemed so normal, so I was like, I don't know. Elaine, is it Elaine? Yes. Elaine and Alice. So Alice is a novelist. So if I remember right, she was in New York, and she meets Felix, and you follow them. And then you follow Elaine, who is like an assistant editorial something, not that important, tiny little job, who lives in Dublin, and is starting to flirt again with Simon, so one of her childhood friends. And then Alice and Elaine are besties. So every second chapter is an email from one of them. So if you follow, like, let's say Alice in one chapter, you're gonna get her email that she sent to Elaine in the next one. And then you're gonna get an Elaine chapter. And then you're gonna get an Elaine email. So that happens until like the last 50, 100 pages maybe, when they finally meet up for the first time in a while. But I thought it was good. There is literally no paragraphs in this book. I mean, there is, but it's like, I don't know, I find that weird. You would look at any other book and there's just more, like, it's more broken up, you know? And there is dialogue, it's just not, there ain't speech marks and shit, or rarely, which is actually not as confusing as I thought it was gonna be. There was some really good quotes though, and some parts I really liked, so that's why I'm giving it like a 4.5. No, that's why I'm giving it a 4. There we go, that's why I'm giving it a 4. It's really character based, but it was still pretty good. Then I read You Deserve Each Other. So this book took me so long to read, it's not funny. Basically the whole month I was reading this book on my phone. After A Court of Frost and Starlight, which I finished, I think it was on like the 5th maybe of March, I was just reading You Deserve Each Other for like 2 weeks. I could not get through that book. I mean, listen, I can get why people loved it, but I just didn't get attached to the characters. Can I be honest? Naomi was kind of a bitch. Like, there was character development, but she was just a little bitch sometimes. I love the storylines. The storyline is basically that these two people who presumably fell out of love have this whole wedding organized. They're engaged, and then Naomi, so the girl, is like, I really don't want to have it, and he also is like, I don't want to have this wedding either with you. I don't love you anymore. So they're trying to get each other to back out of the wedding, because if she backs out, she's gonna have to pay for everything, and she doesn't want that because that's a shit ton of money. And he doesn't want to back out because like his mom is an absolute bitch. And then he'll have to like go through all of the, you should have gotten married or whatever. Basically, it's just going to be an absolute shit show if either one of them backs out. I don't remember where exactly they ended up finally like falling in love again. I would say it's abrupt. I don't think it, I mean, I know it's like, a lot of people say it's a slow burn. I still felt like it was abrupt when they immediately like started giving each other little notes, which are very cringy and cliche, by the way. Some parts were definitely funny, but Naomi was just a bitch and I didn't like her at all, so. I'd give it a 3 though, because I did kind of enjoy it. So, emphasis on kind of, it was okay. It wasn't the best. I know that a lot of people absolutely love this book. Nah, not for me. The mom in it is so mean. I fucking hate her. I can't with her. Also, I love when they stand up to their parents, or somebody stands up, whether they stand up to their parents to defend their significant other, or they stand up to the significant other's parents for their significant other. You know, like anything like defending them, that shit was so cute. And then the last book I read was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. So I heard a lot of shit about this. Multiple people have recommended it. I thought it was gonna be good. I didn't think I was gonna love it, which is exactly what happened really. I'd say I'd give this a 4 out of 5. The plot twist, at first I was disappointed because I was like, damn, this isn't really a shock. And then I was like, oh, really? Okay. And then I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was so shocked at the end of it. It was crazy. Romance on the side of this book was very cute. Pip is very funny, not particularly attached to anyone though. And yeah, the romance, same in this one as in If We Were Villains, you forget that there's kind of romance on the side because you're quite invested in the murder and the case and stuff. I thought that was good because I really don't like it when you don't like the story and you're just reading it for the romance. Like that's just Kotar. No. Well, oh no wait, sorry, I completely forgot one. Legible, which is the last book, which I would also actually give 4 out of 5 stars. It's by Gggtm. So Legible, I actually have no idea what it is in English. I can't find it right now. It'll be up on the screen maybe somewhere. I had to read this book for school. I ended up choosing it for my exam because you need to talk about a book for like 4 minutes and then, you know, questions with someone. I ended up choosing this one. And I actually thought it was pretty good. It was icky. I used to think that when loving a book, you have to like love the characters and like actually like get attached to them and stuff. But it's more like when I love a book, I just need to feel something towards the book. But yeah, it's basically about this 16-year-old dude who ends up falling in love with this, I think she's 19, this 19-year-old woman who's married, but her husband is gone to war. Can you guess what happens? They fuck, and they start a relationship. He's very toxic. I fucking hate the main character. You don't even get his name, so I can't even say the name. It's just some boy. I hate him so much. He's so toxic and horrible. He fucked her best friend. Man, and then you say you love her. Makes sense. He was manipulative. At one point she was like, oh yeah, I was gonna die, and she sent that letter, and he like laughed. Girl, that's not something. Bro, I did not like him. I didn't like any of the characters in this, actually. I just really hated him. I thought the girl in it was okay, but it was still icky that it was an adult minor relationship for me. And there was borderline sexual assault. Borderline, there was sexual assault. So, yeah. But I was still invested in the story. Quite short chapters as well, which is good. And can I say it's a romance? It's a toxic ass romance, bro. Fucking toxic ass romance. I did enjoy it though. But yeah, I liked it in a way where I don't really want to talk about it anymore. It's like I've heard people say that about A Little Life, but that's like another level. They would give the book a high rating maybe, but they don't want to read it again or talk about it and stuff. It was kind of the same for this for me. I don't want to talk about it, don't want to remember it. After this, I kind of want to forget it. Because while reading it, I kind of enjoyed it, but I was just so grossed out. Like when I think about it, I think of how I was reacting in the moment. That's my reading wrap up. I didn't post last week. I had a lot of tests. I'm thinking of filming myself reading the first Shatter Me trilogy, because I've heard so much about it, and I recently got sent it. So that might be a new video coming up, but then it would kind of interfere with one of my wrap-ups, so we shall see. I was gonna film a video on book slumps as well, so stay tuned for that. That's all the books I read in March, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I feel like I did that fast, but I know I'm gonna have like 40 minutes to edit, which isn't that much. I mean, nah, it's quite a bit. Now I have to go do homework and revise for my physics test. Yay! And biology test. I'm so excited. I shall speak to you very soon. Bye!